Hi, I'm Andy Lunsford, CEO of BreachRx. Many of you here today are well aware regulations like GDPR carry massive penalties for failing to respond to a breach properly. However, you may not be aware that there's actually federal legislation being proposed right now that would send executives to jail for a botched response. The global trend is clear. Regulators and customers are demanding more efficiency and more accountability when it comes to breach response. When an organization experiences a breach, it has to navigate enormous financial, regulatory, and reputational risk. But with the right technology in place, you can turn breach response into a routine business process. That's why we founded BreachRx, to take the crisis out of breach response. Our team has decades of experience handling cybersecurity incidents. We've taken our knowledge to build a platform that automates and operationalizes the breach response process, and more importantly, helps companies stay in compliance with all relevant regulations, controls, policies, and contracts. There are three major problems organizations face when responding to cyber incidents. I'm going to show you how BreachRx solves each one of these problems. The first major problem organizations face when responding to cyber incidents is having static, outdated plans. A static incident response plan is outdated soon after it's written, and it rarely aligns with the actual breach scenario. In BreachRx, plans are updated when the changes occur. David's going to show you here on the left side of the platform the four key sources for a response. They come from regulations, controls, policies, and contracts. Each one of these sources changes independently and frequently. In BreachRx, if one of these sources changes, you simply update that source once, and it's automatically applied to all plans going forward. Next, let's show you how quickly you can get an incident kicked off on our platform. Now imagine in this scenario that Finovate is a customer of ours, and unfortunately, they happen to have a cyber incident associated with this San Francisco conference. Now you see here, you only have to enter a handful of pieces of information about this event to get this started. In the background, though, with each additional piece of information, our algorithms are running and they're further and further refining exactly the response that's necessary for this very specific situation. Now, David's going to pause here before he enters the last piece. Once he enters the state of California, boom, all the tasks associated with this response have been generated by our platform. So when he clicks submit, all the team members that have responsibility for this incident response are notified that they need to log into the platform and get to work. This is really important because the team hasn't wasted any time figuring out what to do. They're immediately moving to execution. In the time it took us to get this incident started in our platform, many organizations are lucky to get an initial phone call scheduled where they start talking about what to do. And by the way, we did this manually here on the demo, but we can also do this automatically utilizing our API architecture and your existing tools like ServiceNow, Splunk, or Archer. Having automatically updated and tailored incident response plans allows you to make incident response a routine business process. The second major problem organizations face when responding to cyber incidents is having siloed teams. Breach response is not just an IT activity. It involves a multidisciplinary team to carry out the response. Unfortunately, these teams tend to work in silos and only communicate through emails, phone calls, and meetings. With BreachRx, they're all in one place together. So here you see this organization has outside counsel, IT operations, legal, communications, C-suite. They're all working together and in real time. This drives tremendous efficiencies in the process. Now say we're going to show you how users are assigned to teams here. We're going into the credentials for Walter White. Walter White happens to be a member of the security and general counsel's team. So when an event happens, he only sees the tasks that apply to him by virtue of being on those teams. Now say you're in the middle of an event and you happen to need to give the FBI or say a forensic consultant access to some limited security information. You can add them to the platform in seconds and share whatever limited information they require. Having your entire team in one platform allows you to make incident response a routine business process. The third problem breach organizations face when responding to cyber incidents is not having a single system of record. After you've experienced an event and responded to it, you need to be able to look back at all the actions you took and what you can do to improve the next time. Oh, and by the way, if you're regulated by the SEC or the New York Department of Financial Services, you probably owe them a report on what you did and what you're going to do to improve. Now, if your team is still working in silos and not in one platform like BreachRx, Putting that kind of report together is very difficult. It takes hours of your team's time to look at calendars, emails, notes, and fuzzy memories. With BreachRx, it's just as simple as point and click. Your report is ready for regulators, and your team can get back to business as usual. Many organizations have been struggling. How do we comply with this 72-hour requirement of GDPR? We just showed you how to do this in minutes. Having the ability to automatically generate compliance reports allows you to make incident response a routine business process. A botched or delayed response brings with it fired executives, regulatory fines, lost shareholder value. The list goes on and on. You can minimize all of these consequences by operationalizing incident response. BreachRx is a SaaS platform that can help you do that. We can take the crisis out of breach response. If your organization deals with cyber incidents on a daily or weekly basis, and this is anything from the lost laptop all the way to a mega breach, come talk to us. We have limited space for 3 additional pilot customers that want to partner with us to operationalize incident response. We can integrate with your existing tools and deploy within days. We'll be at our booth the rest of the day. Please come by. We'd love to tell you more about BreachRx. Visit our website, breachrx.com. Thank you.